Welcome back, gamers, to another Gamer Jooce episode. You know we always get straight on into the content, and it is no different today. Destiny 2 Tips and Tricks. Number 10. First Step. Destiny 2 is notoriously known for being not very beginner-friendly, and it features an overwhelming amount of content. No one blames you for pausing at the number of terms thrown around like sparrows, strikes, raids, the Crucible, and clans. We're breaking down the most important tips and tricks so you'll play like a pro. The best way to deal with Destiny 2 is to dive right in. The game's tutorial does an okay job of introducing you to the different modes and systems, but here's an extra tip. When you're in the social space, the farm, you might want to speak to all the NPCs there. Clicking the central button on your controller will bring up icons that will show you everyone you can talk to. Focus on NPCs with a red icon over their head. This means they have a new exciting activity for you to try. Number 9. Teamwork. This isn't Call of Duty, and this isn't just about killing and shooting enemies. Destiny 2 requires a certain finesse. You need to think strategically, and while you can play a big chunk of the game on your own, playing with your friends and fellow players will elevate the game to dramatic levels. Allies are invaluable, especially in the main mission. Playing with others isn't just for fun, there's a tactical purpose behind it. So the game has 3 classes, Warlock, Titan, and Hunter. Each has his own unique strengths and weaknesses. Coordinating with the team helps you root out weak points in your fire team. And since the game doesn't allow for respawning in several areas of the story missions, you'll need a teammate to revive you. Also, the time it takes in Destiny 2 to kill an enemy is surprisingly lengthy. Once you're engaged in a gunfight, before your enemy has a chance to defend themselves or attack back, your teammate can finish them off without a hassle as you're distracting them. We can't stress enough how important it is to join a clan. Joining a clan will help you find other players if none of your friends play the game. Destiny 2 awards players for participation in clans. Even completing the simplest task each week will contribute to your clan XP meter. When it finally fills up, you'll receive more loot. Number 8. Complete the story. Our next tip involves story progression. Once you're immersed in Destiny 2 after a few missions, you'll receive options. You can go explore different planets in search of secret saves. You can go on optional adventures, or you can compete against other players in the Crucible, which we'll talk about later. So if you want to know how to absolutely dominate in the Crucible, keep watching. We recommend working through the story missions as a priority. Not only will you enjoy the story, but progressing through the story actually unlocks extra activities for you. Once you're really in, like 2/3 of the way immersed in the campaign missions, you get access to patrol missions that offer new challenges, exploration, and of course, more ways to find loot. The campaign is a solid way to get to know the game's weapons, how to travel between planets, and the rewarding loot system. The main campaign is pretty short, and there aren't many story missions, so the fun won't eventually turn into a drag. Soon enough, you'll have unlocked new aspects of the game like 3-player co-op missions, which are called strikes, and more dungeon and side missions. Finishing the campaign also earns you your first sparrow. Sparrows are awesome. They're these hover bikes that let you travel way faster. Reaching the maximum level of 20 is where most rewards are hidden and waiting for you, so get started. Number 7. Explore the planets. We know we just said to complete the story missions, but that said, if you haven't reached a high enough level to begin the next story mission, or you just want more loot, you can go treasure hunting. On the map, you'll notice all these kinds of marks. These marks indicate where treasure boxes and lost sectors are, the latter being caves filled with enemies that provide great loot. Venturing to those parts may help you unlock more subclasses for your character. Whenever you visit a planet, buy all the vendors' bounties. These are great sources of materials that you can later trade in for armor and weapons. Number 6. Loot is life. If you haven't figured this out yet, loot is a major part of Destiny 2. Loot comes from these colored drops called engrams, which you'll find all around. They'll drop randomly, and you can get them from nearly every activity you perform. In addition, the tokens you get from planets can be traded with vendors in exchange for raising your reputation and giving you loot. Completing daily challenges and playing in the Crucible will also give you more. If you want to know about how to take names and annihilate your enemies in the Crucible, We have a groundbreaking tip coming right up, so stay tuned. Keep in mind that whenever you cross an engram, whether that's by completing patrol missions or whatever, what's inside the engram is determined by the gear you have. Not the gear you're wearing at the moment, but the gear in your collection. If you want to gain more experience, participating in public events is a great way to do so. You'll be alerted to when they begin on the map. You'll receive some loot for completing them, and a bonus tip, if you want to receive more and better rewards, watch out for optional objectives during these events to activate a heroic event. These might be more difficult, but they'll be so worth it. Number 5. How to find an advantage in the Crucible. When you're still a beginner, you might spend most of your time exploring the PvE modes. However, Destiny 2 is about 80% PvE and 20% PvP. That 20% comes in the shape of the PvP Crucible, in which players, or guardians, compete against each other. However, in the Crucible, the game disables level advantages. What does that mean, and how can you use that for your advantage? It means that, say you have a level 20 player with a 200 attack hand cannon competing against a level 5 player. The level 20 player won't have an advantage, and even some of the best PvE weapons aren't that powerful in the Crucible. What does count are abilities and special perks. Don your best and most comfortable gear and use the weapons you're certain you know how to handle, even if their attack value is somewhat low. Number 4. How to gain advantage over enemies. This upcoming trick to Destiny 2 will save your life. When players use their super abilities, they allow themselves to be too weak to energy weapons. So next time you see an enemy start to glow and get their super ability, quickly switch to your energy weapon to knock down at their health without mercy. Chances are they'll be pretty confident in their ability and thus allow themselves to be a relatively easy target. Ever since the very beginning, Destiny always features explosive stuff to shoot at to allow players to enjoy causing mayhem, but these explosive items have often been badly highlighted. Destiny 2 features bright red barrels that you'll notice right away. How does that relate to annihilating your enemies? One good shot at one of those red barrels will take out an entire group of enemies just like that. Number 3. Aim for the head and chest. This isn't a case of, you should have aimed for the head. While aiming for enemies' heads in Destiny saves up on ammo and gives you critical hits, which can be shown by the yellow damage numbers that appear out of your target, there are some other points you can hit to do a lot of damage. Take the goblins in Destiny, whose power core in their chest is extra vulnerable. Incendiors and Cabal have vulnerable spots on the fuel tanks they have on their backs. You want to knock those down as soon as possible because left unchecked, they can dish out heavy damage to you. Number 2. About control. And for our number 2 tip and trick, we're going to be talking about the Crucible. One of the Crucible modes in Destiny 2 is called Control, in which you have to fight over 3 flags. Our advice is to know your priorities. You won't get any extra points by just owning the flags. You need to actually venture out and get kills. And if you possess the majority of the flags, your team will have the ability to score 2 points for every kill instead of just 1. And if you have all 3 flags, first of all, bravo, and secondly, that means you'll get 3 points for each kill. Positioning more than one player on a flag won't help the grand scheme of capturing it faster. Rather, have a guardian take the flag while another guards his back and keeps the other team from defending their flag. Number 1. Take your time. Our last and most important tip is something all new players should know, and something all old players wish someone had told them before they became absolutely absorbed in this addictive game, and that is to take your time. This isn't just some ultra-positive, life is dandy advice. If you rush through the game, you'll miss out on a lot of things. Destiny is notorious for not explaining outright some things, especially the mechanics. If you're playing on autopilot, just making things explode and earning loot, you'll miss out on a lot. Take your time. Allow story progression to occur naturally. Speak to the NPCs. Explore the planets. Enjoy your revels and let us know your favorite trick to Destiny 2. Which one worked best for you? Alright gamers, we hope you enjoyed the list because that's going to wrap it up. If you did in fact watch the video all the way through, we appreciate you so much and hope you enjoyed it enough to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell because we're always releasing more content. As always, we'll see you in the next one.